key to this to make it profitable is how much do they owe on their mortgage?
They owe about 155, I believe.
And what's it worth?
And it's a 300. They're listing it at 300.
Okay, so they're looking for $150,000 payday for sure. So
Yeah,
this
right.
one,
It's been on the market for a while, and they're not getting it. Like, people are offering them. They rejected a $230,000 offer.
yeah, move on.
So
Super simple.
Move on.
Yeah, once you see a couple, there's going to be a couple different telltales of when to move on. When they're unreasonable, just move on. If you hate the realtor and you don't get along with them, move on. There's 12 million properties for sale in the U.S. right now.
Right.
Like, why
I haven't pitched the seller finance to them yet. I was just getting.
Why wouldn't? I don't think they're not gonna go for it because they need a lot of money.
Even if it's been on the market.
Well, it's gonna be that's a hybrid deal. Yeah, that's gonna be a hybrid deal, but you want to make sure that they understand that they don't really have $150,000 in equity. We gotta talk them off that bridge because we need equity to sell the deal as well as cash flow. If there's cash flow and equity, and the people are going to come out of the woodwork to buy it. So hybrid deals are.
What if I offered them like 270, and then, and 270 with 10 grand down?
270, and so what would your mortgage be? How much would be left on, like, so you said how much was, there was 130 they owe?
150 they owe, 155.
And then you come down to 270 and they think they deserve 350, right?
300.
300. You'd have to go below 270. You'd have to be honestly about 225. Then you're going to have to seller finance that 75,000 in equity.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No. And they already rejected 230 cash.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Know that and move on, because anytime you're wasting trying to make that work, there's another deal that you could make work that's waiting for you. Yeah. Makes sense?
All right.
Yeah, because
got it. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just get on the phone as much as possible. That's where all your deals are. And even better than that, the more you talk to realtors, the more they're going to give you their pocket listings.
Yeah, exactly. All right, buddy. I appreciate it.
Okay, take it easy.
Thank you.
Ridge, what's going on? What is the latest? Good. How you doing?
I'm not doing so bad. So I have a trust deal, Manchester, New Hampshire.
Okay.
Which is a market I've never heard of before. It's a triplex VA loan at 580. They're asking 615.
Okay.
Picked up the phone, called the realtor yesterday. First sentence he says to me, "We can't take a cent below 615 because my client's not going to make a dime on the sale."
Okay.
I didn't even have to ask anything.
That's awesome. That's great.
So I walked him through and I said, well, can't really put on a DSCR because, I was going to, 30 or 40 below list is probably where I'm at with the DSCR. And he goes, yeah, that's not going to work. So I was like, what if we did like a mortgage takeover? He goes, what do you mean? And I go, take over payments, give your client $10,000, $15,000, whatever they need to walk away happy, where they're otherwise not going to make money, get you paid. He goes, what does it look like? And I go, well, we put it in a trust and this and that. He was like, yeah, I'm not sure what that would look like. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I can talk to some partners, write up something. I'll give you a call back tomorrow. He was certainly open to it. He
Absolutely.
Like, no, get away from me with that.
Yeah, no, which is great. Yeah. And you want those open. They're so great. When you get an open-minded realtor, there's other deals with that realtor that you're going to be able to do.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. So the seller has a triplex in New Hampshire, and I think he has a quadplex somewhere else. So I don't believe this is his primary residence either.
You can tell on PropStream. You can go to Link Properties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has two.
Okay.
So that's
one's going to be like a longer, like it'll be 17 years or something. You'll know that's probably their primary.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to run numbers with me before I give them a call back? See what I got running?
Yeah, let's try it out.
Anything like that, or you don't care?
No, let's do it. So tell me what were rents?
I I actually haven't asked him that yet. Rentcast is saying
Half-
2,000 a unit.
2,000 or 3?
2,000 a unit.
Okay, so $6,000. It's a
pretty tiny
triplex.
property, yeah. And his prop stream says his payment's like 36 or something.
Wow, it's kind of high. What's the interest rate?
6.5.
6.5%, and then is it a 30-year? I think it's probably less than a 30-year.
I tried.
Is it a 30-year?
Why don't I just send you the
Yeah, send me the address and I'll check it out for sure.
makes more sense.
Let's see. God,
Check it out.
yeah, let me check that out.
And I had called back on that Frankfurt and talking to a lady about it. And I realized when I was checking the population, there was like 1,000 residents in that town.
Yeah.
And I had talked to her about it, and they're like, "Yeah, they're not going to carry any paper on this." And I'm like, "Yeah." So she was just like, "No, we're doing traditional here. We're in the middle of nowhere. We're not going to be doing anything creative with this."
It's really interesting, the mindset, like just the mindset in the nation. You can really, like, small towns, like, that's not the way we do things. You're like, oh, okay.
Exactly. I was like, "Well, you have my email sitting in your inbox. If you want to look at it later." And they're like, "No, they'd rather keep it than do that." Okay, I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's silly. Okay, let's see what these are. Sorry, let me log in real quick. So like the 30, it's 3,600 a month is what their payment is.
Cool option, Susan.
Is that what you're saying? Oh, no, I thought you told me that. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, it's got estimated loan due date 54, so 29 years from now.
So it's a 30-year loan. Okay, so I'm seeing it as, sorry, I've got a second monitor. I'm traveling, and so I've got the second monitor sucks. So they basically owe what they, like, that's, yeah, if it's, I mean, they've got about $60,000 in equity according to PropStream, but I mean, they basically owe what it's worth.
And his second sentence after he mentioned that he was only going to make his commission off there's not going to be anything else, he goes, "Well, we were under contract at 6:30 and they fell through. There's some sort of contingency wasn't met through an FHA buyer." And I was like, "Oh, do you guys have like a house hacker come in on this?" And he goes, "Yeah, they were, but for some reason they couldn't get approved." Do you know why? He didn't know. Or
Even
he didn't
better.
tell me one of the two.
So you can kind of drive home the point that there's no need for approval on these for the mortgage takeover. Say, you're not going to have to deal with that with us because there is no approval process at all. So that's finding out those little pain points, and this is why I say build that rapport, and you're killing it on rapport. Is letting them know, because that's one of their objections to all this. But at 3,600, and if it's pulling in 6,000, your cash on cash is what, about 12%? Is that what you figured out?
Without factoring in assignment fee, and I couldn't decide on what down payment I wanted to give the seller, probably 10 to 15,000. We're looking at about 18, depending on assignment fee size.
Yeah. So you're in that kind of no man's land, but it's a good sub too, and those
but the entry fee is super low. It's like,
yeah, and that's the attractive part of a trust acquisition for sure.
Exactly. So within our conversation too, I was kind of guiding him like, "Hey, I'm kind of not the expert on this one. I was going to connect him with Garrett, and I couldn't get the guy back on the phone to schedule a time to call Garrett on this one. So I was like, why can't I close this myself?
I think you can.
I know enough about
No,
this.
you
I know what the guys told me.
No, you've got the confidence. I love your demeanor is very mellow, and so you've got the confidence. Don't worry about it. Yeah, you can do this one. Not even a question.
So I think I'm just going to kind of pivot with him a little bit and be like, "Hey, I'm not going to be working with Garrett on this one. I've got a different private lender in mind that's going to kind of go through this with me with Richard Taylor and all that stuff, because if my name's not going to be on the contract, he's going to have questions.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I've already told him I'm with my company, so I don't want him to have a little bit of like be caught off guard, you know.
And that's why I always default to I'm brand new at all this. I'm helping out these investors, and we're all a team, and we're just trying to get things done. We never, and that's why we wanted assignable.
Like,
we wanted to always assignable because we never know who's going to get it. That's the big reason.
I had said to him, I was like, well, I mainly have done DSCR type lending. I've never done a trust deal like this before, but I know people that have done it, and I'm totally willing to learn with this with you. And he goes, yeah, he literally at the end of the call, he was like, yeah, connect me with your partners, like have us, you know, learn a little bit more about this.
Great. Good. You're doing everything right.
Okay.
Yeah, and take this. I mean, if you can, get on Richard's live too, so you can show him exactly what you're doing, because it's solid. He'll probably want the deal.
More than likely, especially if I get it like 10 plus realtor commissions in closing.
Yeah,
it's definitely
not bad. And I always talk to the realtor and I say, hey, these guys are going to lose their money on this deal. So for you to take your full, your full commission
and leave them nothing,
it's kind of shady. And I'm just straight up with them. I'm like, the only way we could do this is, I'm happy to make sure you get something, but can you reduce your rate? Because you've already told them that you're going to, that there's going to be a down payment. So we can't. I usually go no down payment, especially in this situation. They don't really have equity.
I didn't give them a number.
Oh, you haven't?
I just kind of explained it like, hey, I got a guy named Garrett that kind of takes over mortgages. Sometimes he gives your person a down payment, puts some money in their pocket, pays you out.
Okay, good. So you kept it nice and generic. Good. You kept it generic. Again, I'm way stingier. I asked the realtor to take $500. I'm happy to pay that. And I tell the owner there's no money here. I'm so sorry. Especially, I mean, they've got some equity, but I can talk that equity away by looking at what needs to be fixed. Like, I just see that your equity is going to go towards, bringing all these things up to date that you haven't put up to date. Hard to tell the shape because it's all snow pictures. But
on the old side. Do you think it would be wise for me to figure out the tenant situation with him? I was going to kind of ease into the conversation with that. I don't like going straight into numbers with people. People get off by that.
Well, I like to stay away from numbers as much as I can, which is kind of silly, but it's, but yeah, I would just say, hey, how loyal have the tenants been? Something simple like that. And then
I don't even know if there's tenants in it right now. I didn't ask them yet.
Right. And so that's a great way to go about it, where you're not like, so what's, but this is different because it's a triplex. They expect you to ask those questions. So you're fine.
Exactly. All right. Now we give them a call. Hopefully,
all right,
we'll be able to hear.
Excellent. You're doing really good. Your cadence is excellent. Let's hear what.
I get more nervous when it starts ringing.
Of course.
All right.
And do you have your the noise suppression turned off?
Of course.
Of course.
Richard Falcon Terrace with Remax Energy.
Yeah, just call him right back.
This was an issue because yesterday, right after I called him, like 5 minutes later, I sent him a text and no reply.
Okay.
Yeah, so he is a very, very busy realtor. From when I was on the call with him, he's actually at one of his fix-it websites, he said.
Okay. Either really.
Hey, is this Richard?
Yeah.
Hey, this is Rich. We talked yesterday about a triplex you got on Bremer. How are you doing today? You got a couple minutes?
Really, I'm about to go to City Hall for, I gotta go see the town for something. I got a project going on, and I gotta see him. So yeah, if you literally got maybe like 4 or 5 minutes before I get into It's not been.
Yeah, let me just ask you one quick question. I'll give you a call back later. What was the tenant situation look like here?
Yeah, it's 4 o'clock.
After like 4? Okay. But what was the tenant situation looking like on this one? Hello? Can you hear me?
Oh,
Oh, I guess you couldn't hear me. Oh, you know what happened? My phone disconnected from the internet mid-call.
Oh, no way. Okay, just text him, say I'll call you at 4. My phone, just say you went into a tunnel or you got swallowed up by a glacier.
Yeah.
All right, but good stuff. I mean, you come off very confident, and that's so important in these calls. So you're doing a good job.
Yeah. I just wanted to know how many tenants are in the property, that's all.
That's
Could've
all.
been a 30
Well, and text him that.
conversation.
Just text him all your questions. Say, hey, sorry, my call dropped. Here are all my questions. And then while he's sitting in City Hall chilling, he can figure it out.
He hasn't answered any of my texts so far. I sent him 2 yesterday and 1 today, so.
Well, he's there, so he's got his phone in his hand, so maybe that'll help.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay, let me know what
call me
happens.
back.
Oh, he's calling.
hello?
Hey, it seems like my internet had cut out here. My call dropped. So I just had a quick question. What was the tenant situation like on this one? I know you only have about a couple minutes here.
Yeah. Tenant, first floor, there's a tenant, the 3-bedroom, 1 bath. They're paying $2,000 a month. They're on a lease for 7 more months. Second floor is vacant. It's a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. Market rent is $2,100, and then third floor, their month to month is a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and they're paying $1,800.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you a call back later. I know you're super busy right now, and I don't want to make you too stressed out. I appreciate your help with this one. See you then.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, try giving me a buzz after 4. I'll be a little bit, I'll most likely be at home and have a little bit more time right now. I'm on the go right now, so.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, we'll connect then. Just give me a call, all right, man?
Awesome. I really appreciate it, buddy. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye-bye.
What a nice guy.
Yeah, no, that's well.
Yeah,
You're matching him completely. So you're doing great. That's perfect.
I can't imagine how busy he is if he has to go to town hall.
That would suck.
I don't like going to town hall.
No, nobody does. Who would want to go there? Okay, you're good to go. So that puts the rents right at $6,000, right? Is that what?
Yeah, it's exactly what Rentcast said.
Perfect.
I'm guessing the vacant unit is probably where the owner was living.
Okay.
If I had to guess, I'm pretty sure that's why he was getting rid of this one, is because he had mentioned yesterday something about the owner was moving out of state or something.
Oh, good. Okay,
Or
good.
moving to a different property. So that's probably what would happen there, which means that unit's probably not going to be destroyed or anything.
Yeah, should be pretty nice. Good. All right, let me know. Take it easy.
Yeah. Also, if anyone wants to JV with me, TA agreements, I'm starting. Reach out to me.
Nice.
Also,
Good.
Trent, your hat looks awesome, man.
It is
Although
awesome.
it is missing an E, it kind of confuses me.
I know, that's the whole point. Well done, Ridge.
Have a great day, everybody.
Take it easy. See ya. All right. L Truck, what's up? I know your camera's
Trent,
not
can you hear
working.
me?
Yep, you're good to go.
Awesome. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Doing good. Sorry about the Wi-Fi issues earlier.
Yeah,
I don't
no
know
big
what
deal.
happened there.
No big deal.
So I sent you the address in our DMs. It's a 3-1 listed at 290,000. They owe 185 left on their mortgage. They got a 2.9% conventional loan, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
They're making monthly payments of $840. I checked on Zillow rent calculator, and it would be renting out for $1,400 a month. So my only question here is: this worth pursuing? Like, do you think a deal can be made?
I don't think so, because they want a chunk of money and they don't cash flow. And so if they owned it outright, absolutely. Because
Right.
in that situation, you could say, hey, you got a cool place, but it doesn't cash flow for me. So then you could do it. But they're going to want 100 grand. And so
Yeah.
these middle equity ones are hybrids, and they're just a huge pain in the butt, and they usually don't work out, and they're hard to sell. So I'd move on.
Got. Okay. Do you ever find yourself in a situation where you find a house, like for example, listed at 100,000, but they owe 80, and on the sale of their house, let's say like after closing costs, they're making like a couple thousand. Do you ever approach them and say, hey, I'll give you, let's say they're making 2,000 on the sale of their house. Let's say you offer to give them 5,000 and take over the mortgage. Do you think that would be something? No.
I don't do that. I'm just the opposite. I offer them nothing.
Okay.
And again, the reason I get away with it, and I've done it several times, is I find out their motivation. And sometimes their motivation is not money. So one that Richard and I did together recently, and I talk about it all the time, the woman that was living there got a great job out of town that paid her a ton of money. And so she tried to rent her place for a while, and she didn't like it. She didn't like dealing with the tenants. She didn't, none of it worked out. And her motivation was she also had a solar loan on the solar on her house. So there was all these little factors that were kind of bogging her down. And we came in and said, hey, how about we just take it over? She's like, would you guys do that? That's awesome. Even though she had $100,000 in equity, she didn't care. And so that's why we make all these phone calls, and we're trying to find the people that just don't care. She's killing it on her other job. She's like, whatever, I just want to be done with it. And so, because so many people say that they're done with their properties, like, oh, I just want to get out of it. I'm like, okay, well, let me just take it over. And they're like, well, I want to make some money off of it. And it's like, well, then you don't want to get out of it that bad.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be a little bit of a jerk. I do it in a nice way. But yeah, the whole point is then we can sell that. Like Richard found that one and I bought it immediately. It wasn't even a question. We got off the phone and I said, I want that. And he's like, okay, it's $10,000. Granted, it was weird. He gave his student 3,000 on that one, and he took 7,000, but it's not the way, because I was looking through the paperwork yesterday and I'm like, well, he took 70% of the deal, but I mean, that's up to him. I mean, I thought he did things different. So just be careful. But the whole deal is like, if it's a good deal, people are going to say yes right away. And so in this situation, you've got to jump through a lot of hoops, and you've got to, there's a lot you have to do to make this work. And so why not go for one that's easier? And again, taking over somebody's mortgage, don't feel like you have to give them money. Find out first.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. Thank you so much, Trent. I appreciate it. I'm going to get back to making the phone calls.
Okay. Good job.
Alrighty. Take care now.
Later. JJ21, what's up? JJ, there we go.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How you doing?
Good. You got a camera, or you're on your phone, or?
I'm on my phone.
Okay, so no worries.
I called somebody yesterday.
Okay.
He used to Texas.
Okay.
And he so I've never set up a deal with interest. But I think that was a big deal breaker for him. And
he wanted interest?
He said what?
He wanted interest? Is that what the deal was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he wanted interest on the property because the house is listed at 420,000.
Okay.
And 420,000, and rent is 3,000. And what I had it originally was a monthly. I had him on a 45-year payment.
Okay.
And which would make him at 730 monthly.
Okay.
Payment.
Yep.
And cash flow was 13%.
Not great. Not super sellable.
Yeah, but that wasn't even great for him because he said and he wanted less than a 10-year balloon.
Okay.
So he wanted the 7-year balloon. And when I called him today, he said that he's not comfortable with having it with no interest.
Okay.
And so I literally right now, when you added me to the call,
Yeah.
to the group chat, I called him again, and yeah, he was like, "No, I can't do that."
Okay. So, again, what were the rents?
So it's just a house, 3,000 monthly.
And the purchase price is how much?
Well, he wanted 420, and I offered him 440.
Okay. And so you're doing it on seller finance, or you're doing it sub two? It sounds
Yes.
like there's a seller finance.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sweet. And so you're offering him,
I had a down payment as 32,000.
okay. So,
Really, I did that is because the house needed some work.
and what are you offering him monthly for his payment?
731.
Good. I like where you're going with that. Let's see. And then, I'm sorry. So you went 440?
Originally I had a 430, but then I just raised it to 440.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
440.
So, and did you explain to him that in that extra that you're paying over?
Yes, and he understood what finance is, but he was like, I don't. He understood that part, but he still wanted an interest rate.
Okay. And so, how much did you offer him down?
32,000.
Okay, so about almost like 9%. No, probably 12, 13%, right?
Yes, sir.
So we want to make 10% kind of our threshold on those, but okay. You can pump up the you can say he talked you into another 10 grand on the purchase price if that would suffice his need for the interest rate. Say, hey, how about I pay you the interest up front, and the interest is part of, not up front, don't say up front. If I do the interest as part of the payment on the house, I'll go up to 450. I'll give you another $10,000, and that can be your interest. How's that work? See what he says, because you can go up a little bit. That's not a problem.
Yeah. Also, as you would know, Houston taxes and insurance is a little high.
Yeah.
So that was what insurance was like 330, and property tax was like 680.
Okay.
And so with that was a little high. So what do you think I should say? Just say I'm willing to go 450.
Yeah, I think that's to credit, because keeping that 0% is what makes the deal. If you're paying any percent, you're on slim margins right now. So I would just say, hey, the best I can do, and here's my final, because you did great on the payment per month is excellent. That's exactly where we want to be. You can also tell them, hey, I and so
I think when I was and then he was like, "Oh, so there's no interest." Yeah, I don't know about that. Even though I explained it to him that I'm willing to offer him above what he's asking for. That includes, but he still wanted the. But my question was, if I would set up because I've never done the with an interest rate, but how would I set it up?
I mean, what kind of interest rate is he the type of guy that wants a 10% interest rate, or is he looking for 2% or 1%?
I had it at 2%, but I don't think he would take that. Like I didn't offer him, but I was just setting it. I'm working with it right now. Like I'm putting it up right now.
Yeah.
And because when I asked him, I was like, "What would you think you would be comfortable with?" And he was like, "Oh, today's rate would be good." And I was like, "No, I can't do that." And I was like, "Yeah, that's how it works."
Okay, so here's a little exercise for you to do. Go on Google and type in amortization calculator. It's a simple calculator that just does.
I have an offer of it from.
Okay.
Is it big?
But just play with the interest rates. Have you seen the difference in what 0 compared to 1% and 2% and 5% and all that is? You're breaking up just a little bit.
When I had it on 2%, to make a 13% cash flow, I had to be on an 80 year amortization.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but the monthly payment would be a lot higher too.
Okay. Well, and here's the deal. I think you give him your 450 offer, and then you just let it sit for a little bit. And so, letting it sit, you'd be surprised at how much that helps. Because then they're like, okay, well, we haven't gotten any other offers, and that one was pretty good, and kind of stand your ground a little bit.
Also, another thing was, I'm sorry, I'm just keep bringing this stuff, but
no problem.
Like I was saying, the house needed some work, like some leveling. I can show you the address if you would like to. I could send it to you.
No, I think I get where you're at. I mean, how much? I mean, is it if it's foundation work, that's about 10 grand. So
yeah, that's why I didn't want to above what he's asking for too much. That's why.
Well, again, the purchase price is not a big deal because you get a nice low down monthly payment. That $732 is awesome as a monthly payment. So yeah, beat them up a little bit. Beat them up. Say, okay, but where are we? You know, if we're doing this, I need you to fix the foundation. Make sure the foundation's solid because my inspector is going to come in and shut the whole thing down if that foundation's not fixed.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, like you said, I was thinking about just like you said earlier, just raising the purchase price and then just let him sit on it, and
yeah,
we'll
check back in a couple of weeks, but put him on your definitely put him. What I do is I just do a reminder, and I say, Siri, hey, remind me in 2 weeks to call this guy back, and then put all the information in there.
One thing I learned from you, we spoke way back when I first started, but now I just don't focus too much on one property. Even if I call them, I just go to the next and the next, and then if he just replies to me, then I just call him back.
That's perfect. Yeah, the more you have, I mean, I call them time bombs, but if you have 20 time bombs out there, that's the best. Then I
actually have 3 other properties that I'm working with.
Perfect. So, get a ton of them. Great job.
That's what it was for me. The calling is not the problem for me. Even if I get nervous, that's not the problem for me. The problem for me was just setting offers, and that's where it was for me.
Good. I'm glad you got past it. That's huge.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, buddy. Take it easy. Okay. Crimbarelli, you're back. What's up?
I found a house.
Oh, good.
Let me send you the information. I called them, and this is what they gave me.
Okay, it's Texas City. Let's see. So, okay, tell me why you offered 120.
They offered it to me.
Oh, they told you 120.
Yeah.
They own it
outright.
And
I was like, let me run some numbers, and they're like, I'm gonna connect you, agent. So I'm the secretary, and I'm like, okay, cool.
Great. Okay, that's. How are you feeling? Like, that's great. You're doing it. This is amazing. I'm psyched.
Thank you.
Okay.
My question is, should I do like wholesaling, or should I do seller financing this property?
Okay, so just let's get our terms. I'm going to get you understanding the terms. The entire thing, what we do is wholesaling. We buy low and we sell high. Okay, so if you wholesale candy, you buy it at a wholesale price, which is lower, and then you sell it for more. That's what wholesaling is. Then we have 3 different ways of wholesaling. We've got seller finance, cash, or mortgage takeovers. So the entire thing is all wholesaling. And so in this situation, they own it free and clear. And they just told you that they take less. Let me take a look at it real quick. Hang on. So my problem is my monitor is super tiny. How do I make that better? Hang on just one second. Let me just. Okay, so. Good, and they're not big investors. They only have 2 properties, and one's probably their primary. They've got no mortgage, so that they were true there. Okay, so what I do in this situation, and this is kind of standard, this is wholesaling 101. They already told you 129, right?
It's only 120.
120. So they already told you 120. What I want you to do is come into them and say, hey, I've run my numbers and I talked to my lender, and the best I can do is $70,000 for a cash offer. And they'll be like, oh yeah, we're not interested in that. And you say, yeah, I did
70,000.
70. Yeah, 70,000.
I write it down. Cash offer.
That's your cash offer, okay? And they're gonna not like that, and that's what we want, okay? Because we're gonna come in and give them a better offer, and the better offer is gonna be a seller finance offer. Since they own the entire, like they don't have a mortgage, we can do this, and it looks like the property's pretty clean too, except it's blue. Why? Why do people do that? And again, one of my tricks is if somebody has a blue house, I tell them, yeah, there's expense. It's gonna cost me about 10, 12 grand to repaint that. And they're gonna think, wait, I just repainted that. It's beautiful. It's blue. You're like, you're a psychopath. So that's one way to just, have something that makes sense. So yeah, but it's clean. Do we know what the rent is? I think you said 900.
The rent is like, yeah.
Okay, good. So get ready to write things down. Then we're going to come in and we're going to say, they said 120, right? You're going to say, I'm going to do it at 130. I'm going to give you 130 for your place. They had it listed for 140. So let's go with 130 to start. Say, I'm going to give you 130. And I'm going to give you, hang on, doing some math. And I'm going to give you $6,000 down. Okay. That's a down payment that I'm going to give you. $6,000 down. And then every month for the next 10 years, I'm going to pay you. So I take $900 and divide it by 4, which is 25%. And I'll pay you $200 a month for the next 10 years. And at the end of that 10 years, I'll balloon you out, meaning I will pay you what is left to pay after that time in a lump sum. And it's going to reflect that 140,000. I mean, what do we say? 140?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to reflect that $140,000 price. Okay. So when I say balloon out, it just means we're going to pay the rest of what we owe off. Okay. And so what we're doing is we're trying to incentivize them by giving them more than their asking price. And if we give them more than their asking price, they'll be like, oh, wait, I just made an extra, like in this case, 20 grand because they said 120. And really knock home, say, hey, I really appreciate that you guys were willing to go 120, but my numbers say I can go 140. Would that interest you? Okay. Let them come to you. Like, what? You want to offer me? I said 120 and you're saying 140? How's that work? And then you let them know your numbers. The way I came up with all the numbers is I did 5% of 140 was about 6,500. So I said 6,000 for the down payment. So that's where that came from. Does that make sense?
Again, so 5% of what?
So I did 5% of the purchase price, 140 is 6,500, but I knock it down a little bit. I just say 6,000 because I always round down. Okay, so you know you can go up to 6,500 on the down payment. You could even go a little higher. But this is where we're starting, so we can start a negotiation. Okay, and then since we know that the rents are about 900 a month, we're going to offer 225, which is 25% of the rents.
25% of the rent.
That's so we don't tell them that.
Yeah.
We just and explain to them that this is the only way that this would work for any investor, because we have to cash flow. And as it stands, the only two ways we can make a cash flow is paying them 70,000 or this seller having the seller hold the note. And they end up
Can you repeat
making
that out?
they end up
Sorry.
making an extra $20,000 over the long period.
But what if they are not, because as far as I'm doing for my previous phone calls, people are not fans of getting payments over the 10-year periods.
Okay. So let's wait till they tell us that. Let's not telegraph what people are going to decide, because we don't know. They might be like, holy crap, that's what we need. We need $200 a month because, we bought this thing and this thing costs us $100 a month. That would be great. We know we don't know. And so don't assume that everybody's going to answer the same, just because you've heard it before. Find out. That's why I do all this really low, because we can move up a little bit. But let's see if we can get them enticed at this level. That would be very sellable. Okay?
Okay.
Makes sense?
So first, yes. And what if they accept the 70?
Great.
700.
Yeah, we're happy with that.
Oh. Okay. So just to confirm, okay, you're offering me the house for 120, but I want to sell it. I want to buy it on cash offer of 70. And if they say yes, cool. And if they say no,
yeah, but I want you to kind of string them along a little bit. Like, I talked to my lender, and he said the only way we get the most I can offer you is, and just kind of be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. My lender's such a jerk. I can't believe it. There's a lot of, you got to do a little bit of acting here and say, and I hate making this offer, and I'm so sorry, but 70 is all I could do as a cash. Okay.
he's pushing me, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna push over. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Good luck. You want to call him right now?
Yeah.
Let's do it. I want to hear it. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's awesome. So here's what I want you to do. There's a setting down by your name. If you go down to see on the Discord, your name's down at the very bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah.
Okay, go up 2 rows and it says video connected, and right next to video connected are these 5 lines. And I need you to click on that and then turn it off. And that's the noise suppression. We want no noise suppression, because otherwise we won't be able to hear the phone call.
Like video connected.
Yep, and then just to the right, there's 5 vertical lines.
Yeah.
Click on that and then turn it off.
I think it did.
Okay, perfect. Let's make the phone call and put your phone on speaker. Tell me your first name again.
I'm Kimberly.
Kimberly?
Yeah. I'm Michelle Garcia from Monica Foster, blah, 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 blah. Okay, my name is, let me text her. Hello, do you have time for a phone call?
How you think?
Oops. Okay, so 120. I'm just talking to a person. I don't know why I'm freaking out.
That's good. And go slow.
Okay.
Just take your time. You're all good. That's part of it. Freaking out's part of it. That's what I like.
The anticipation.
Yep. And just your sweating bullets. All that stuff is fun for me. I like to watch it. Makes me laugh.
The best part is when it's over, for sure. The best part about starting something is when it's over.
Exactly. I like that. I'm stealing that.
Cool. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm going.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
I believe in you.
Hello, you have reached Vision Garcia of the
Oh,
Local Foster.
Okay, just hang up and call right back. We're gonna do this 3 times. Hang up and call right back. She will
On the
answer.
phone.
She'll answer.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Justin. I think your assistant contact us.
Yes, Justin is one of our assistants. Yes, I'm the realtor that'll be coordinating with you. It's nice to meet you. I'm Vision Garcia.
Nice to meet you as well. Do you already know the property that I'm interested in?
Yes, 318 7th Street North, is that the case?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Yeah, I've had my eye on this one actually for a few clients, so I'm glad someone's interested because this is a nice home. Okay. So I just have a few questions. You mentioned you're interested in submitting an offer. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And have you seen the home in person?
Excuse me?
I just asked, have you seen the home in person? Just because in the event you have, I have to add on track that you haven't.
I haven't. I just saw it online and I am very interested.
Okay. Okay, yeah, not a problem at all. I can get the offer typed up. I mean, if you wanted to see it in person, I'm available today. Anytime you wanted.
Thank you. Currently, right now, I'm just like, since I'm a new investor, I'm just checking on properties that I can start investing in and hopefully
Okay.
to create generational wealth and
Oh, yes, speaking all that into existence, absolutely.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, and will you be paying cash or do you already have financing?
I am interested in making a cash offer. When I called your assistant, he told me that we can do 120 for the property.
That's not a problem.
Okay, I have been
That's not
seeing
a
the
problem.
house and the neighborhood so far, and I've been running some numbers before because I thought I was calling the actual realtor. And I'm willing to put a cash offer on this for $70,000 because I noticed that I have to remodel some stuff, and I'm probably gonna do a paint job because blue is not as suitable for the common eye.
Okay, okay. So what I can do is, you said 70,000, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So before I get the offer typed up, I can call the listing agent, let them know you will be a cash buyer, and ask if this is something they can work with. Just so I don't have to get everything typed up, get the signatures, and then have to do it all over again.
Perfect.
I'll do the verbal with her. I don't know if it'll be a big deal just because it's been on the market for a while. And like you said, it does need improvements.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll get in touch with her and then I can get back with you. What else? Were you needing a homeowner's insurance quote or anything of that nature? I can get that for you.
No, thank you.
Okay, not a problem. Okay, good. So I'll call the listing agent, go ahead and run this by her, see if it's a possibility, and I will get back with you and update.
Cool. Thank you so much. Thank you for keeping me posted.
Of course, I will be in touch. You have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Okay.
Great. Excellent. And letting her go and kind of work with that cash offer. Then when she says no, you'll go, you did great. Are you kidding me? You killed that. Yeah. No, you killed it. That was so good. Really, really good. You're very mellow. The less you talk, the more she'll talk.
Yeah.
You killed it. Excellent job. Really, really, really excellent. Okay.
Thank you.
Come back. Let me know what she says. The beauty is when she comes back and she's like, oh, we just can't do it. And you say, yeah, I was talking to my lender and I'm like, what are you thinking? This is, that's not going to work. But what I came up with is, and then you pitch the other one. Like keep that same mellow way about you. You're excellent. Really, really good job.
Thank you.
All right.
What I'm noticing is that they want to make the contract.
That's fine. This one's in Texas, right? They have to. Texas contracts. Texas makes you use their contract. You're fine.
Okay. I want to should I think ahead or I just wait for the next step on this?
Wait for the next step. You are better at reacting, I think. So don't worry about too much else right now. You've got your next offer. That's what's going to be the next thing. Get on the phone, start calling other properties. Because you want about 20 of these in the pipeline, just so you can just keep on turning and burning. Great, great, great job. I'm really, really impressed. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, bud. Take it easy. See ya. Right? Maverick liked it. That's all that matters, right? How was that?
Exactly.
Killed it.
Okay, so I sent you an address, and I guess my question to you is, he just texted me and wants me to send over an offer, which I'm happy to do. And I asked what the motivation of the seller was, and he said they want $60K in their pocket.
Oh, okay, good. Good to know.
I know. You have the address.
Is that possible? Yeah, let me see. Let me go back to it.
I believe this one is in Detroit.
Detroit. Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
So they're asking $249,500. So
okay, and it's a duplex?
Yeah.
Great.
Multifamily. It's being rented out. Each side is 12, so 24 in total. It's been on the market more than 60, 70 days.
Great. Nice place.
What I like about it, it's free and clear.
Yeah.
And the owners or the sellers are wanting $60K in their pocket. So that makes it sound like, okay, they're willing to maybe do a seller finance. They could be open to seller finance.
Right, but they're gonna want.
And they have an offer in currently right now. So that's why the realtor called me back and just said, hey, look, we have another offer. I want to present your offer. What do you have in mind? Are you ready to present it? And I've been sort of sitting on this for 2 days because I'm like freaking out.
No. Never sit on anything. Like this is time is of the essence on these kind of things. So at 200.
No, I know.
Yeah, so 250 is what they want. So 10% would be 25,000. That's usually the highest. I would go 12,000 on the down payment, but they want 60,000 in their pocket.
Yeah.
So they're a little aggressive on what they want. They want over 20%. So we can't really do 20% because it's not sellable. That just won't be sellable. But what we can do is and point out there's something going on in that kitchen in the lower left-hand corner on the floorboards, and it could be mold. And so that's what you definitely want to say mold and say, what's going on with that? And I don't even know what the other thing is that's on the wall. If that's the furnace in that other kitchen.
Let me just double look on something.
Oh, that's a door going outside, I think, maybe.
Yeah, it looks like it almost looks like a you know,
Green door.
it does look
Yeah,
weird,
there's a
doesn't it?
screen door on one of them, and then the other one's kind of just weird. Okay, but you can ask about that. Good rapport builder there. Tell them that you would love to give them $60,000, but that wouldn't work for you. The most you could do is about 7%. I know you hate the percentages, so know that that's right around 10 grand. Because 5% is going to be 12,500. So we could go. Yeah, we're gonna have to work on them for that down payment. So the down payment's what they're. But you could also do it if you could maybe do their down payment of 50. That's 20 plus. That's right at 20%. But their monthly payments would have to be less than what we usually would offer. Way less. We'd usually offer $500 a month for that.
Mhm.
We would tell them $200 a month. Okay. And say with that high of a down payment, our monthly payments would be $200 a month, and we'd have to go 10 years for us to make this a reasonable investment. Then you can start adjusting. You can say, well, I can come up on, if you're willing to come down on your down payment a little bit, I can come up on the purchase price. You can go up to $260 on the purchase price. So you've got those numbers you can kind of play with for right now, but tell them, 60,000 is just not going to work, and find out. Say, is that the do or die, or are they? If they'd be willing to do 25,000, I could make this work.
Okay, so let me repeat what I think I heard back to
Okay,
you, just
sure.
to make sure
Absolutely.
I'm on the right page.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if my first offer to them is, I'd love to pay your $60,000. However, my lenders probably won't give that to me. No, because I'm not doing lenders, right? I'm doing cash.
It's just the problem is it just won't cash flow. Like that's the biggest.
Okay.
That's our problem there.
It just won't cash flow. So I'm willing to come up to 260,000, or do I?
Yeah, I mean, so what you want to let's do a cash offer. Say to get you to the 60,000, I'd have to do a cash offer, and my best cash offer is probably 175,000. Okay, and that way you can walk away. You got your money in your pocket. You got 175,000.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably our best. I'm sorry, make that 150,000.
150.
150. Yep.
Okay.
And so with that, then let them come back and tell you that's not going to work, and you're like, well, that's the way I can make it so you can have 60,000. You can get your 60,000 out of this. Otherwise, I could offer you 260,000. Would that be something that the seller would be interested in?
Okay, let me that's the way I can make it work at 150.
Yeah, I don't want you to have a script. I want you to understand this. So don't write down a script, because
No, I know, but because of my brain injury, I won't retain, so I need to have something to look at.
So you need
I
like
can
bullet points? Okay, yeah, let's do it
Yeah.
in bullet points. I want to make sure that you're not, because it's got to be a conversation for it to be a negotiation. And so
I want it to be organic
exactly. Yep.
as much as possible. Okay.
So then
So my cash offer is 150,000. See where we're at.
yeah, and see what they say, and say that's the best way for me to get you this 60,000 you're looking for. Otherwise, I can offer you 260. Would that be something you're interested in? Okay, and we say it that way, so it gives them a chance to be like, wait, what? How's that even possible? You're offering me more than what I, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the way, in order to make this work, is I could offer you 260, and they're like, what?
Right. So they'll be curious, like, how are you paying me more than what I'm asking for? And say, we do that, and write this down as your bullet point, to incentivize the seller to take a set of payments. So we're trying to incentivize the seller to take a set of payments.
We do it to incentivize the seller to take a set of payments.
Yep. It's just a good way to say it.
Perfect.
And
I
then-
understand this part.
Yeah, and so then you know your offer. I'd like to start. I would love to start, and you can start at $12,500 as a down payment. That's the 5% of the purchase price. In fact, maybe I'm wrong. Hold on, let me, because we increased it to 260. Times 5% equals. So yeah, we can go 13,000.
Okay, and what would my monthlies be? 200, like around?
We'll say 200 a month to see if they'll go for that. You can go up to 500 a month and a little bit more, but let's start at 200.
Start.
Yeah, starting at
Okay,
200, starting at 13,000. So
So
again,
I'm starting there with a 10-year balloon.
yep.
Okay. Got it.
Makes sense.
Okay. Yes, thank you. So when I put this offer together, do I do it through the Discord so I can submit it? Because I'd like.
Correct. Yeah, you just put it through contracts.
I'm
There's
so confused over that part of it.
no,
That's my
absolutely.
fault.
That's the hard part. What's cool about this is you can also reach out to Garrett. That's his job, is to help you through
Okay,
that part of it.
perfect.
And so that's his title in here, is to help you through the
I've
rest
kind
of
of already been talking to him a little tiny bit.
Oh,
so
good,
maybe
good.
I submit. So basically what I do is show him the address and the information, or do I have to fill out some kind of form?
I think he has a form. So let's see.
Okay.
Look in there. What's his form? If anybody has his form, can you guys put it in the chats? Let's see. Grishel's here, so she should be able to, or who's here? Yeah, they'll put it in. There it is. Zell's doing it. The Garrett sub 2.
Oh, that's.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, boss, how we doing?
Good.
Hey, I've been off for a little while. I joined up earlier this year, but I pulled away, and well, Tuesday I got laid off, so I figured it was a
Oh,
good time to throw myself into this.
We call that incentive.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like as good as any.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this morning
What were you doing? What was your job?
outside sales and hydraulics.
Oh, holy crap. Okay, pretty specialized.
Yeah, no, I've been doing it for like 12, 13 years now.
Oh, no kidding. Same company?
Yes and no. I was at a company, switched to mobile outside sales, and mechanics and then went back to the original company, and they decided they didn't want outside sales anymore.
Oh, geez.
So
Okay. Well, there you go.
yeah, lots of fun.
Okay.
Anyway, ran across a quadruplex not 20 minutes ago, ran quick numbers on it. And
Okay.
it's been a minute since I've made any phone calls.
All right.
So I feel unsure of how to go about this one.
Okay. I simplify everything. So that's the biggest thing. Make no offers on your first call. Just get incentive, get motivation, ask about the property, find out what the rents are really, all that kind of stuff. Build motivation. I mean, build a rapport with the realtor, just so you've got some reason for coming back with another call. And so when you're talking to them, you're getting all this information, and at the end of the call, you're going to say, "Hey, this looks pretty good to me, but I want to run my numbers." That way, you're not stressed out trying to run the numbers in that first call. Also, it gives you a chance to call them back and get to know them better. Okay. So anything in that first call that is, if you talk about their dog, whatever, you can bring that up in the second call so they know who you are, because they get 100 calls a day. Okay. So that's the way we simplify it. So let me look at did you send it over to me?
Not yet. I can real quick.
Yeah, send it over. Let me check it.
Where we go?
All right, checking it out. Sorry, just 2 seconds.
And I never can figure out. I remember I've gone back and forth with, "Hey, I'm an investor. I've got my real estate license here in North Carolina."
Okay.
So I go back and forth, but it always feels, I don't know, like I'm gonna get caught up in a lie. You know what I mean?
What would the lie be for you?
The fact that I'm investing myself, because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna buy these myself. You know what I mean?
Do you ever want to buy a house ever in your life?
Well, I do eventually.
Right. So you're
But, I mean,
a new
I'm now,
investor. But I always go new investor. It's nice and generic. They're nicer to you if you go that route, and just say, "Hey, that's I've found that's the simplest, easiest way to get people to chat
So
with
how do
you."
you lean in from the new investor to, "Hey, I want to sell or finance this property with you"? Like, how do you?
No problem. No, and it's usually only after we've okay. First of all, you're calling on an investment property, so you're not some guy that's looking to move in here. You're looking for an investment. Okay, so they're okay with it. And being new at it just makes the realtor be a little bit more gentle with you. So that's all I say.
Sure.
And you can even lean into your story. Like, "Hey, just recently got laid off, and I'm going into. I decided that probably investing what money I've got is probably a smart way to go right now, just so I have some income coming in every month." Okay, these look good. So it's two duplexes. Is that right?
Yeah, 2 duplexes, but I haven't, like I said, I haven't called yet. It looks like they're on the same property.
Yeah.
And sold as one.
Yeah, perfect. And it's they're saying 8 bedrooms, so it's $550 for both, so $225 each basically. And what are the rents? Did you look at the rents?
I did look it up. I looked. It says it right there in the description.
Oh, it does. Okay, perfect.
It says that it's going to be 5,100, or well, for the newest one, they're bringing in what it is. Say at the bottom,
$1,275 each.
1,275 on the newest lease.
Okay.
So I don't know if that covers all of them or if some of them are a little lower.
I bet they're a little bit lower, but like we're at 51 for the you're in a good spot. This has got potential. So what you want to do, and it's pretty much the truth, at their price, this does not cash flow. Okay. And that's what you want to lean into. And so this is referred to as the checkmate pitch by Richard. And so you want to say, you know, at this price, it won't cash flow, but I've been taught a way of doing this. And so if that helps with the new investor kind of stuff, I've been taught a way to do this where I could get you guys, you know, like 575,000. Is that something that would interest you? And leave it up to them, because it's always important to get them enticed and have them be the ones that's like, well, what do you mean? How can you get me $25,000 more than I'm asking? You know?
Right.
And so then you say, well, the way I would work it out, and you know, if they're into it, say, hey, let me go run my numbers, and let me get back to you, and I'll talk to you about it. So
Okay.
Give them time to just, you know, be enticed and kind of sit back and, you know, wait, we potentially got somebody that's asking to give us more money, so they're excited about it. Then here's how I run my numbers, and I keep it very simple. The purchase price would be, let's call it 575, right? I offer 5% down, so times 5% is about 30,000 down. It's 28,750. So you can even say 28,000. Say I can come in, I can give you $28,000 down. Okay. And we said 5,000 for the rents, right?
5,100, yeah.
Okay, let's go 5,000. Just to keep things easy. So, and then say, what I do is I take the 5,000 and I divide it by 4, because I want to give them as a monthly payment 25% of the rents. So divided by 4 is, I should know this, that's 2,500. No, 1,250. Hold on, what am I doing? 5,000. Yeah, so it's 1,250 a month. I would tell them, and I can give you a monthly payment of $1,000. Okay, so I'd knock that down even more. Again, these are numbers that we start with, so they can kind of fight back. They might be super excited with 1,000 a month. You don't know. So those are your numbers. We're going to say we don't mention the interest rate at all. When interest rate is brought up, we say, well, that's the interest rate you can find in that extra 25,000 that we're overpaying for the property. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, and then just ask for a 10-year balloon. Say we can do all this and we can do it on a 10-year balloon. So that's our first offer. We don't need to let them know that that's our first offer and that we have more gas in the tank, basically, that we can juice that up. Throw that out to them and find out what their objections are. And then we start satisfying the objections.
Okay.
Make sense?
I typed, oh yeah, most definitely. Because I typed it into BuyBox and it jumped straight up to, what was it, 616?
Yeah, BuyBox gives way too high of estimates on everything. I don't know why they haven't fixed it. They're coming out with a whole new something or another. I don't know how long it's going to take, but yeah, it's BuyBox's offer is it's not even sellable. That's what's hard, and so many people rely on that, and it just isn't. It's too high. Even Richard says that he doesn't rely on it. So it's like, I hate that you guys have to go through that, and then, but the way the numbers that I give you are super low, and it's just a place to start. And so I try to make it, because I've gone through about 2,000 transactions trying to sell them to buyers, and they're all too high. And it's usually because of that. So we just need to go super low, and that's kind of what I'm trying to stress.
Understood.
So
that makes sense.
Does that simplify the numbers for you? Because you can apply that to every single seller finance thing you do. 25% of rents, 5% down. That's it. So simple.
Most definitely.
And that way you can hammer through 100 of these a day, just making offers and talking to people and getting it all done, you know. But if we have to go back to the calculator every 10 seconds, you want to blow your brains out.
No kidding. No, I have a bad habit of looking at a property, running the numbers before I ever make a phone call.
It's phone calls first. Always phone calls first. From here on in, Phones, calls, and the fact that you're incentivized by not having a job right now is amazing. And I know it sounds like it's horrible, but you have got a secret weapon that nobody else has, and it's, oh, I got to get this crap done. And I gotta, you know,
Most definitely.
lean into it. I literally do this stuff 12 hours a day. You know, it's just because I love it. I got obsessed with it. And so lean into it big time.
I got you. Yeah, no, I fully understand the concept. I went through it with Garrett. We had a property lined up, like I said, 2 or 3 months ago. It fell through because of husband and wife splitting, and she wouldn't sign anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's always
It blew
something.
up. Yeah, it blew up, and then I tried another one and it blew up, and I was just like, and I just kind of fell out of it.
With good reason. No, I get it. It's really hard.
So I guess now it's time to lean back into it.
Well, you have to. That's the best part.
Yeah.
You know, this is the path of least resistance right now, and you've got to go for it.
Yeah.
Good. I hope you get everything done. If you ever want to JV with me, I just changed my JV. What I do now is I do 30% for me, 30% for you, and the extra 40% goes to whoever finds the buyer. And so it gives you a chance to go out and learn that side, which I think is really important. And so if you want to find the buyer, then you'll get 70%. I'll take 30 for helping out. Okay.
Fair enough. Sounds good.
All right, bro. Good luck with it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, for
Thanks,
sure.
sir.
Take it easy.
See.
All right, guys. There we go. I'm hitting the 11 o'clock hour. Oh, I'm 10 o'clock hour really at home, but I'm going to probably take off because I've got to help my daughter move today. Lucky me. But I'll be back again tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and I'll help you guys out then. So I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll see you then. See you. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out with us in the TikTok world. If you guys want to understand more about what we're doing with Hold My Hand Wholesale, please feel free to, I've got a link in my bio. That's 1 month free. It's a great way to just check out, everything that's going on, and you don't have to pay any money. So it's totally free. If you hate it, cancel it. You will have to do a credit card. But yeah, you can cancel it before the 20 or the 30 days is over, and you're off scot-free. But take advantage of it. We'd love to have you in the Discord, and we can talk to you and help you with anything that you're doing. We literally do hold your hand for the entire process. We'll get you through, and it's a great way to make some money. But also,